The NBA was afraid this would happen after a dominant performance from Stephon Castle being the main defender on Luka Doncic and still dropping an efficient 30 and 10 on the Lakers' heads. The Spurs, without Victor Wembanyama, move on to the semifinals of the NBA Cup. Dylan Harper showed out a little bit. Keldon Johnson with the spark of the first quarter. There is so much to this team that makes them beyond dangerous, especially as Victor Wembanyama is looking to make his return in the NBA Cup semifinals in Vegas. Keenan, this was a performance for the ages from the San Antonio Spurs, and if you want the Spurs to win the NBA Cup, leave a like on this video. There's so much we can get into in this game, Keenan. What a performance from the Spurs. The Lakers put up a fight, but honestly, for a lot of this game, it didn't even feel like it was very close.
It really didn't. Early on in the game, the Lakers and the Spurs were going back and forth. That was mostly in the first quarter. Then they blitzed them and got up 9 after the first quarter. And then from that point on, this game was barely close at a lot of times because the Spurs played phenomenal. And the dreaded third quarter, they're up 12. The dreaded third quarter, I was like, okay, can we get this lead to 15, 7, to like 17 something so we can go into the third quarter comfortable? And they said, okay, we're fine. And they came out on an instant run in the third, and I was like, yeah, we're winning this game. Stephon Castle, he was special.
Yeah.
30 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. And Luka on the other end, he did have 35. Luka's one of the greatest offensive players we've seen in some time, but only 11 to 24 and 3 from 8 from 3. If you're gonna have to deal with Luka doing that, like under 50% and under 37 or 38% from 3, you can deal with that, especially when you bottle up Austin Reeves and LeBron's not super efficient offensively. He was decent, like 50%, but not making a 3. Like he was decent, but wasn't great.
Yeah, it was like, honestly, you mentioned one thing, and I want to get to that, and that was that first quarter, and it's this guy that was just the spark plug of the
big
team.
body.
Big body, Keldon Johnson. I got the jersey. It's always hanging next to me. You guys know. Big body. Like, I saw someone tweet out, like, let me actually get the Mitch quote. Someone tweeted out, like, Keldon Johnson, he would be averaging 30 a game on the Wizards, and we have him off the bench. This is what Mitch Johnson had to say on Keldon. We got a lot of big personalities, and we got a face of the franchise, but that guy is the heart and soul of the team, and I think you can see it when you watch him long enough. That's what Mitch Johnson had to say on Keldon, and honestly, Keenan, like, yes, we're going to get into more Castle, more Fox, Dylan Harper as well. But Keldon Johnson being able to do what he does off the bench for this team, night in and night out, honestly, is so impressive. 13 and 6 on 5 for 6 shooting. Well, 6 rebounds in the first half, but 13 points in that first quarter. This guy showed up, and honestly, he set the tone, driving his shoulder into defenders, knocking down some very confident threes. And the Spurs as a whole tonight, minus maybe Devin Vassell, were really confident from the three-point line. And there's a reason why the head coach himself calls this guy the spark plug of the team, because honestly, on most nights, he really kind of is.
Yes, he is. And he's been, I know they were highlighting before the game that, and during the game, that he really wants the money on a llama, and that's what he wants to spend money on. So, like, I thought that was funny there. And he came out like he wants to get to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way he's been playing this year. He's been playing such efficient basketball. I believe they were talking on the cast. He's top 10 in field goal percentage on the year.
Mm-hmm.
As just coming off the bench, this guy has been playing such high energy basketball, such efficient basketball, and the Spurs have been benefiting from it. So all the Keldon Johnson news, like, do we keep him? Do we not keep him? The reason why the Spurs have kept him is because he is the heartbeat of this team, and he is proving it night in and night out.
100%. And my gosh, the energy, right? Those screams. But again, it goes far beyond him. Like, there's so much we could talk about. Harper as well. 13, 3 and 3. De'Aaron Fox having a great game as well. And I want to shout this out when it comes to Fox. 20 points, 4 for 8 from 3. This dude is getting closer and closer to 40% from 3 as the days go by, Keenan. A plus 21 in this game, 8 for 17 from the field, 2 steals. We legit have 3, maybe it's too early to call Dylan Harper a superstar yet, but we have 3 guards that have that superstar potential. Fox already has shown it. Steph Castle tonight was the coming out party, really, in a lot of ways. Not that he hasn't done games like this before, but on such a high profile stage, like, we haven't seen him in a playoff atmosphere yet. This is the closest we've seen to Steph Castle in a playoff atmosphere, and look what he did. This is the big thing, right? This is what the NBA was afraid would happen. You have three guys who is basically a three-headed monster right now. What do you do if you're the other team? Stephon Castle is going head-to-head against Luka, being the primary defender, dropping 30 on his head. And look, Luka still had his game, but held him to under 50% shooting. Good enough. You have Dylan Harper weaving through the defense, making life incredibly difficult, finding these kick-out passes. Fox now shooting 50% from three, still dropping 20. Keenan, there's no way to stop all three of these guys if they're all rolling at the same time. And honestly, like Castle and Harper, they were speaking on how their chemistry has built up, and Steph was saying that him and Dylan, they hang out a lot off the court. So on the court with their IQ, how they share the ball, they have the same common goals trying to win. So it made it easy for them to click on the court. They want to see each other win, just what our is with the ball. It's not as a typo in that tweet by Jeff Garcia. It's kind of easy to play off each other. So I think when you like your teammates off the court, it's easier to play with them, and we saw that. And it was so incredibly clear. Now, Stephon Castle moving up to 50% shooting on the season, by the way. Look at all the green in this here. Yeah, he fouls a bit, turnovers a bit, but 18.2 points, 6 boards, 7.3 assists. This dude, Keenan, you could argue he's the Spurs' third best trade asset behind Wemby and Harper and maybe even Fox, depending. And this is how good he is. I cannot emphasize enough how scary the Spurs look when Castle, Harper, Fox are all clicking, even without Wemby on the floor.
Castle in the first quarter especially, but like he was doing it throughout the game. On fast breaks, he was getting downhill and not allowing anybody to get in his way because he's got such a quick first bounce that he can do things like that. And just like he is so quick, so shifty, so athletic. And Castle, he is special, man. Like he is just a special player. And you were talking about the three guards together. They have been so far as happy as we've advertised them. And we have to remember too, defensively, that's the only thing that we might be a little bit lacking on at times. Yesterday, I thought we played well defensively, but we still have Victor Wembanyama coming back. So it's like the Spurs right now are, since Wemby's been out, are top 10 in 3-point percentage, 3-point makes, free throw percentage, all of that stuff. They're top 10 in. And then defensively, we've got that guy coming back. I'm interested to see how they're going to integrate Wemby into the offense with how well people are playing. But come on, man.
Well, I mean, that's the big thing too, right? I'm excited about this Thunder game. Like, you look at those numbers. Number 1 in rebounds per game. Number 1 in blocks per game. 61% true shooting. Everything about Victor Wembanyama. I feel like every video I just read out his stats, say how good he is. But we all know that he's that good. This is coming back. So we need you guys to answer right now. Will the Spurs beat the Thunder in the NBA Cup semifinals? Type Y for yes, N for no. We're going to respond to the comments because the big update here is that Mitch Johnson said Wembanyama may return for that game. It's not just hype and hope it up because we know he was close to a return. Quote from Mitch Johnson, very much so. He had a very good day today. He had a good intent day this morning, and we'll have to see how he responds and reacts tomorrow. And look, again, that's not a yes, 100% this dude is playing, but it's getting pretty close. And right now, Keenan, well, I'm not going to do that because then that hides your face. But right now, Victor Wembanyama is this guy behind it. It's crazy to see how good we've been. What is it, 9-3 now without him, I think?
9-3, top 3 team winning percentage wise in the NBA since Wemby's been out.
Top 3.
And we missed Castle during that time.
Yeah, that's true. We've missed Castle a little bit too, and now we're 17-7. We took over the Lakers in the standings, and we're 6.5 games back. The Rockets, they're 15-6, technically ahead of us, but they kind of shouldn't be, right? So the Spurs are 1 game away from second place in the West, and we're going up against the everything that the Spurs have done without Wemby has been ridiculous, and to just add him back, I know it can throw a bit of a wrench into chemistry, but I think the guys are just learning together, Keenan, and the reps matter so much, playing with each other enough on the court. Finally, this is what we're seeing, right? We're seeing the product of what can happen when all of our guys are healthy at once. All the criticisms early this season for Mitch Johnson, rotations, all this stuff, that's kind of going away now that we're winning high-profile games against high-profile teams with our stars working well together. It's an incredible shift from even where we were 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yes, and rotation-wise, I want to speak on it real quick because I think what Mitch Johnson's trying to do is understanding that we have 3 high-profile basketball creators in Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, and De'Aaron Fox right now. And so he's trying to just play one, if not two of them at the same time in 5 to 6 minute increments to where they can have the most energy and be able to get downhill and not get tired. And then from that, you kind of integrate everybody else. Devin Vassell gets his minutes here, Barnes gets his minutes here, Cornette here. They were using him, they were kind of abusing Cornette early in the game in the pick and roll, but he did a very good job defensively in the second half, had some key blocks, had some key rim protection. So I liked the way that he played, like that chase down block he had at the end of the first, I thought was really good, but he was rim protecting at a pretty high level in that second half. But overall, this Spurs team and Mitch Johnson, I think he's doing a good job. And you can't listen, it's new for him too. I understand he coached last year, but that was a weird situation. This team is new for us, it's new for him. So he is learning what is best and what's not. And while we're learning, we are one of the 4 best teams in the Western Conference with a chance to get to the NBA Cup Finals against the Thunder. I've wanted this. This is what I've been aiming for. I think that this run specifically will gain a lot of confidence for the Spurs team because they're like, wait, high leverage moments, do or die, win or go home. We just beat the Lakers in LA. And now we hope Wemby comes back because that's going to be a spectacle. That's going to be a spectacle. The Spurs at top health, even though Wemby obviously working his way back, but top health against the Thunder, who are a juggernaut right now. Yeah, I can't wait.
Wemby versus Chet, like, you know, Wemby still, he can technically qualify for the in-season awards, so there's a lot that could happen right now, and with this game coming up, look, the rest of the Spurs schedule, even outside of that, it looks pretty good. Now, this schedule here that you're going to see doesn't actually include NBA Cup games because it's a little quirk of the way the NBA schedule goes, but the schedule that's going to pop up here in a second, after these NBA Cup games, like, look, we beat the Lakers. Now, we do have the Thunder in the semifinals, and if we win that, of course, we go to the finals. But after that, it's Wizards, Hawks, Wizards, then Thunder again, Keenan. We are going to play the Thunder 3 times in 2 weeks, which is completely insane, but it's going to be a true test for the Spurs, right? Now 17-7, we've evened up our record against teams above 500 to 7-7. To hold our own without Wemby has been absolutely incredible. So leave your thoughts on the Spurs' upcoming schedule, how this game went, everything down below, because this team is legit dangerous when they're playing at this level. That'll do it for this episode of Spurs Digest. And if you enjoyed watching the Spurs dismantle the Lakers, leave a like, comment, but most importantly, subscribe. We're so close to 12,000 subscribers. Thank you for tuning in every single day. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host Keenan Warner. We'll catch you in the next one.